Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Crucible League 3.21. In this episode, I'm going to be going through the patch notes content update for Crucible League, and I made a PowerPoint presentation because there was so much information. It was a really long patch notes. I'll show you that quickly. So this was the patch notes, and so 23 times minion was mentioned, and it was really long. Like, you could just see it on the sidebar. So instead of going through all of this, which I did on stream for hours, I've already gone through it all multiple times. I have just made a PowerPoint, so let's go. All right, let's get it started with the Darkness Enthroned. So I'm going to be going through most of the patch that I find important, and even some stuff extra that I just think is really strong that I'll probably send out in other people's stuff. But yeah, the Darkness Enthroned unique belt is now 50 to 100% increase effect of the socketed Abyss Jewels, and it used to be 75%. So I write here, with the buff to Abyss Jewels previous patches, this is a huge buff. And also, if you think about it, 25% of the 75%, because now it'll be 100 from 75, is relatively 33% more. So this is actually a lot since it was only at 75, and then to gain 25 is quite a lot. This will be used by many before Mage Blood. This was already used, especially in Trade League where you could get good Abyss Jewels and where people wanted to get 100% poison. And then getting 30 through the jewels, through 2 jewels, and then getting the extra 75. Well, now you could get 100% extra, so you could get 60% with just the 2 jewels in this belt. That's pretty insane. Darkness Enthroned, and that's just one mod on each. So then the formless inferno was also changed. This is in some sort of order, but I cover all the rest of it too. Like, we'll go into the rest of the breach stuff, but I picked this one out because it's kind of cool. So they changed the formless inferno and took away all that stuff, but now it has extra life, so it's a decent helm for life. And then they have this main mod, so minion life is increased by overcap fire res, and then the socketed skills are supported by level 30 Infernal Legion, so it's also a 5 link. And 30 Infernal Legion, I pulled it up, this is PoEDB, it's 7,856 damage per second, and then a +7 radius for Infernal, so that's really high damage, because it's obviously higher than a level 20 Infernal Legion, and then it's lower than the 35 that you get from the Forbidden Shackle. This is really strong, though. And then if you have 600% fire res over cap, then you get 600 minion life, and so this could be really insane. That's just a simple example. Like, if your helmet had 600 minion life, yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And then it also could have Infernal Legion if we don't have it as a down. So, like, if we could keep our minions alive, then that's a lot of extra damage. This one's really big. So they took out all of the reservation masteries for each specific aura, like determination, vitality, precision, grace, all this stuff, and they were all removed. They're replaced by a mana mastery that's 12% increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. So now I write, determination 25% mastery is better early for just determination. So let's say you just get determination and you put in your build, and then you wanted to save the mana from it. Well, the 25% mastery is better than the 12% because you're only reserving the determination. And yeah, so for the 12% to be better, you have to reserve over 100% mana through other auras. It can't just be determination. Basically, you're more incentivized to be aura stacking rather than just single auras, specific auras. And then, yeah, this will be like more open to every build to run generic auras rather than the specific and needing to be to those specific, like determination mastery or the grace mastery. This new mastery is actually similar or stronger since it applies to all auras instead of just determination, but this is a hit to extremely early or builds that just run very specific auras with the specific reservation. Because once you start stacking more auras, over 100%, 150%, 200%, flat generic reservation that affects all your auras is just going to be better because, yeah. Infinite Heist is dead. You can no longer create books of regression. Rest in peace. You can no longer de-level. Infinite Sextant dead. Instead of it being, it doesn't use your Sextants as the enchantment on your maps, it's now 50%. So the Sextant will get consumed. No longer infinite elevated Sextants. Oh my god, this part's insane. this part see, so I covered the like some of the dead stuff right before I pop off. Okay, so Vaal Absolution, Vaal Dom Blow, Vaal Animate Weapon. So on the left we have Vaal Absolution. That is Innocence. The shots he's shooting kind of just looks like regular Absolution. And then Dominating Blow was called Domination in the announcement, but that's Dom Blow, so these big-ass statues. And then we have Vaal Animate Weapon. But wait, there's more. Vaal Absolution. We actually have the gem. So Innocence deals 200, it says it over here. Ascended Sentinels deal 200% more damage. So Innocence deals 200% more. The new ability, and it takes 70% less damage. Ascended Sentinel takes 70% less damage. 15-second base duration. And then it also modifiers to the skill effect duration affects the soul gain, and the soul gain is 30 seconds. So, you know, what support gems will be best on Innocence? And so I want to show you. This is Absolution shooting. Maybe it can also do this, but what if it can do this? The beam. It just starts channeling a beam. Like, what are its abilities? I don't know yet. What support gems would be best to do this? Oh my god. What is that? Okay, we'll see. And then this is Vaal Animate Weapon. So Vaal Animate Weapon animates multiple weapons or lingering blades at once and transforms them into random attack focus unique weapons. The unique weapons have a separate weapon limit, but a shorter duration than the regular animate weapons. So it can summon a lot, and it can summon unique ones, which this is pretty cool. This is pretty neat. Do you have to like drop... Does there have to be unique ones, or does it just make unique ones and for free without anything? We'll have to find out how this actually works. I'm sure that I think it just makes them. If it still has to have weapons on the ground that then turns them into uniques, that's kind of cool too. Because then you animates multiple weapons or lingering blades. It sounds like there still needs to be weapons on the ground, just like a normal animate weapon. And then it would just turn them into unique weapons. And it doesn't tell us how many, but it is a separate weapon limit. So you can have an absolute ton of animate weapons, kind of like the Vaal Summon Skelly it reminds me of. I wonder how many blades and weapons you'd have to have for this. Goddamn. And then we have Masteries, Reworked, and Buffed. I told you this is a gigantic patch notes that I could even make this big of a PowerPoint presentation. So the Masteries, Reworked, and Buffed. I pulled out the specific ones that I think are crazy and new. So minion accuracy is equal to yours is cool. That opens up a lot of builds that are going to attack themselves and then have the minion accuracy based on their own accuracy instead. +1 to all max resistance if the equipped helmet, body armor, glove, and boot all have armor. This is all max res, which includes chaos, and this is disgusting. As we see later, we actually get a 1 max chaos res that doesn't have any requirements. You just have to have the chaos mastery, but this requirement's not hard because everybody kind of likes armor, so then 1 max all res is really strong. 10% of fizz damage from hits taken as chaos. I think this was the chaos mastery as well. I removed like which mastery they were from, but just to point out like which ones are really insane. Because yeah, this is just 10% fizz DR with CI, and then gain adrenaline for 1 second when you change stance. This is adrenaline buff I've been looking at forever through the other ascendancy, and it just doesn't seem viable without the ascendancy. Now you have it on any class, any build. You just take this and change stances, and it has no cooldown, and you just infinitely spam it. And yeah, weird. There's another one of these that like if they did this but with berserk for 1 second when you change, like berserk, that'd be insane. These are the two buffs I've been looking at. Like, what? They actually gave you it for free. Okay. 25% chance to open nearby chests when you cast a spell. So just spam spells, and like our phase run, etc. is just going to be opening chests. And then does this work on Blight? We'll have to find out. 1 max chaos res is neat, but it should be like 3, or have a downside to make it 3. 30% of chaos damage taken does not bypass energy shield. This is actually a new mastery. This is disgusting, the fact that this exists. This is 30% of shavs. Very cool. 15% chance to suppress spell damage with evasion on all your gear. Pretty cool. That's in the evasion one now, I believe. And then burning enemies you kill have a 3% chance to explode, dealing a 10th of their max life as fire damage. It was a fire mastery. Enemies you kill that are affected by elemental ailments grant 100% increased flask charges. I think this was the flask one. That's insane. With the new Pathfinder stuff, 25% chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a crit strike is important. Recover 4% of life when you use a flask is important. 10% of leech is instant. The Baron build. Dude, is it awake? Is this Vaal pack? Yo, is this it? Is leech back? 10% of leech is instant? Well, okay, and then 25 also increase max total life mana, energy shield recovery per second from leech, and it's all of them now instead. And then it's there used to be like 2, and then it's increased max total, which is the good one. So this looks like a nice package together. We'll see if it's enough. More masteries. So life got a whole bunch. I showed you the whole set because they're kind of interesting and kind of build defining. So you have 10% more max life if you use all of them. Okay. 15 increase max life if your chest plate doesn't have any life. 50 life. And then you count as on low life while at 55 of max life or below. So this is great for the petrified blood and stuff. And then you also you count as on full life while at 90% of max life or above. And so this is for you being able to use damage on full life. Pretty cool. Skills cost life instead of 30% of mana. So that's also insane. You just blood magic at 30%. And then marked enemies. This was a mark one. Marked enemies cannot regen life. They took away the 50% reduced regen of nearby enemies and put it on marked enemies cannot regen. And it's no longer 50, it's just cannot. Marked enemies cannot deal crit strikes. Your mark transfers to another enemy when marked enemy dies. Reduced effect of withered on you is one of the resistance ones, where you could also get corrupted blood. You get reduced effect of withered on you because they put withered as a base mod in the game now. That's just going to be appearing in maps and delve and heist, etc. I believe it's a mod you can roll, or it just is everywhere. I don't know. Damaging ailments cannot be inflicted on you while you already have one. Non-damaging ailments cannot be inflicted on you while you already have one. And then chance to suppress spell damage is lucky. This one was pretty neat, pretty weird. Yeah, that one's a weird one, but we'll see how people like it. And then skill balance, there's a bunch of them, but I pretty much only included this. And then we lost onslaught from the beginning, but we have momentum. But yeah, melee splash is buffed 40% instead of 50%, and then it scales to 41% at 20. And then awakened melee splash is 39% from 40, with a value of 37 at 5, which was 38 before. So they nerfed late, but buffed early, and then buffed the melee splash. It's actually more competitive early, which is neat. I've been doing the whole Infernal Legion combustion SRS setup instead of doing melee splash, but this is interesting. Breach. Breachstone's base buffed to equal pure. So Breachstone, Chayula Breachstone is 83 now. Blessing of Breachstone equals flawless. No longer pure. Blessings are more rare and not guaranteed. Breach is pushed to endgame, and Breach uniques buffed. Breach Nightmare Jewels buffed. Breach density buffed. Nerfed Splinter Drops to compensate for the better Breachstones. And then these are a couple of the... So Surrender was 250 to 500 life on block instead of 250. And then United in Dream was nerfed. They took away the minion damage. 60, 80 minion damage, pretty big. And then they make it harder to get. It's going to be way later into the game. Won't be the SSF gauntlet thing as viable anymore. And those jewel changes, I kind of want to go get those. Give me a sec. So the nightmare, I didn't grab it, but basically the main thing was granting block attack damage equal to 50% of the fire res or LE res in the radius. So from 35 to 50 is big. This one was granting spell suppression from 50% to 70% for the cold res or LE res in the radius. And this one grants 50% spell block from 35. So these are disgusting buffs. Absolutely disgusting. Actually insane. Huge. But they took away the like granting of power charges, frenzy charges, etc. I actually like the I like this better because the on kill required like dots, and then the dots wasn't consistent on kill, and then on kill is not even consistent in bosses anyways. So this is nice. I like these changes. And now we have the Abyss. We got all these cool items. So Abyss. Always Lich in depths. The Stygian Spire is no longer in the depth. 78 plus for depths, no longer 70 plus. So they made it so you can't find a depth until 78 plus. And it always has a Lich. But it seems like you then should be able to find the Spire before 78. Just not the depth and not the Lich. Okay, spires are in maps, not depths now, and there's a note on the tree for +1 to get the Stygian to 86. Massive buffs to Abyss uniques, including Tomb Fist. We don't know the new mods, but there's 6 in total. Like, you know how it can roll random mods, so it can have 6 now. Or there's a pool of 6, I mean, so there's a bunch that we just don't know. Shroud of the Lightless is strong, and Darkness Enthroned, again, don't forget about it. And then you gotta farm those corrupted 6 mod Abyss jewels with the Atlas node for your Darkness Enthroned 100%. And they buffed the Liches too. They made them harder, so to compensate for like buffing the uniques and making them thing, and then pushing them to the 78. They buffed the fights also. Yeah. So big buffs to Breach and Abyss, making them more endgame and taking them away from the early game, and trying to also buff their items to compensate. And then yeah, the XP should be better from the Breach stones too, because they're a higher level without needing to be upgraded through the blessings either. And then I wonder if we'll have more flawless now, if that'll be more accessible or what's going on with that. But really cool changes, really insane, lots of changes, like huge patch notes. And I wanted to present it in this way instead of just going through a patch note for 3 hours. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hey, if you guys made it to this part in the video and you've ever done a breach, hit the like button. And if you guys hit the like button, you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss this new Crucible League. It seems pretty interesting because there's going to be so much new power and power creep and insane stuff to figure out in this new Crucible. So either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Now I'd like to thank my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Rico549, David, Stephen with a PH, Stephen with a V, Cynic, Hannes, Lewis, Nicholas, White Wolf, and N8. Thank you guys so much for the support. Bye!